Welcome to the channel. You are watching the BangBets Prediction Show, brought to you by Lit757. College football, week 9, picks, predictions. Let's get into it.
Sweaty.
First game on the board, we got the Oklahoma Sooners traveling to Kansas to take on the Jayhawks. Man, let me tell you, this Oklahoma team really burned me last week. They really burned me last week playing around with UCF. So Kansas, they've been up and down all season. You know, this is definitely not one of my favorite games on the board. This is probably a good time to remind folks, you don't got to bet on every game. You don't got to bet every game that day. But in this one, I'm gonna target the over in this game. And I'm going to give a slight lean to Oklahoma minus the 10. But, you know, just going off how they did me last week, I'm just not ready to lay double-digit points with Oklahoma again. So those are my picks on this game. Next up, we got the South Carolina Gamecocks taking on Texas A&M. Very interesting game here. Two teams that started the season with high aspirations. And, you know, things ain't looking too good for either one of these squads right now. South Carolina just got beat up pretty bad last week. I think they're going to show up pretty tough here in this one. Probably get more of a South Carolina-Florida vibe to this game. So give me South Carolina. Give me South Carolina plus the points. And I'm going to lean towards the over in this one. As you can see, the model projects an 11-point win for A&M. 11-point win for A&M. South Car plus 14 still cashes. So I'm feeling pretty confident about that. So yeah, let's see what happens, man. Next game. All right, so we got the Clemson Tigers taking on the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Clemson, man, coming off a heartbreaking double OT loss to my Hurricanes. Love to see it. North Carolina State on the other side coming off a blowout against Duke, losing 24-3. You know, NC State's just not a very good squad this year. So I don't think I have any other choice here, but I'm going to lay the 10. I'm going to lay the 10 with Clemson and give me the over 43.5. Model has a 12-point Clemson win. A little short of the over, but I think it'll hit. All right, in our next game, we got Georgia taking on the Florida Gators. Both teams headed to Duval. It's a neutral site game in Jacksonville. 30 minutes from my hometown, so I've been a part of those festivities a couple of times. Really great experience. But back to the picks, man. Georgia coming in this game strong. Florida's had an up and down year. Win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. It is what it is. I mean, it's a rivalry game. I expect Florida to play this game tough. Georgia's missing the number one guy in Brock Bowers. But I still gotta go with the dogs, man. Give me Georgia laying the 14, and I'm gonna take the over in this game. Model predicts a blowout with the over clearing, so love to see that. But I think Georgia will definitely pull away from Florida because they are the better team in this matchup. Next, we're headed to another SEC matchup. We got Mississippi State taking on the Auburn Tigers in Auburn. Really interesting game. Tigers haven't had a pretty good season. And let me tell you guys, I've watched this Mississippi State offense in like 2 or 3 different games this season. And every time I see them, they cannot move the ball. They cannot get it together. They're always in some low scoring game. And I know Auburn's defense isn't the best. I know they're at the bottom of the SEC, you know, but I watched that whole Ole Miss game, man, and these Tigers, they were scoring, man. They put up a good fight against a good Ole Miss squad. So I'm gonna lay the 6.5 with Auburn, and I'm gonna take the under in this matchup. As you can see, the model predicts that Mississippi State will pick up the win here. I'm gonna have to disagree with the model, just off of what I've seen from their offense the last few games, and from what I saw from Auburn against Ole Miss. I think Auburn can win this game. So give me Auburn minus the 6.5. Next, we're headed out west for a Big Ten matchup. We got Purdue taking on Nebraska. You know, really probably going to end up being a grinded out type of game. Nebraska hasn't put up crazy numbers. Their offense has, you know, been stagnant all season. Purdue's won in whatever, you know, just not two great football teams getting together for a game here. So I'm gonna go with the under in this matchup. I feel like the under is super obvious. And then give me Nebraska laying the 2.5. Model likes my picks. Model likes the under. Model likes Nebraska by 3. I do expect it to be a close scoring game, but hopefully that 2.5 doesn't burn us. Next up, we're headed to Louisville, Kentucky, where the Duke Blue Devils will be taking on the Louisville Cardinals. I mean, this might be our lone top 25 matchup this weekend. So I'm excited for this game. Duke's coming off that tough loss to Florida State. And honestly, in that game, man, another game I watched in full. If Riley Leonard doesn't get hurt, does Duke pull it off? Because they were looking good up until that point. And speaking of the Blue Devils to be exact, if Riley Leonard isn't playing in this game, I don't think Duke's going to be able to win with their backup. So I'm just going to throw that out there. I need to know for sure if he'll be playing this weekend or not. Right now he's questionable. But if Riley Leonard doesn't play, I'm going to lay the 4 with Louis, and I'm still leaning towards the over. If Leonard is playing, then I'm going to be on Duke money line, and I'm sure you'll see the full game line move as well if it's announced that he is a go in this game. So, on to the next. All right, we got the Oregon Ducks taking on the Utah Utes. Really interesting game, man. I'm having a hard time figuring out if this Utah team is for real or if they're, just benefactors. Because, let's be honest, USC, from the beginning of the year to where they are now, we know they're not that good of a team at this point. We can accept that. So, I'm glad Utah went out there and did their thing against USC, got that win, because that made the line for this game under a touchdown against this incredibly high-powered Oregon team. And I just don't see this game staying close. I honestly do not. Model calls it 38-17. I like that score. But give me Oregon minus the 6.5. I'm gonna lean towards the over in this game. But like I said, I don't see Oregon letting Utah hang around. With the way they play, it's just really fast paced. Really, really fast paced. I know Utah's defense is good. I know people are hyping up the defense for Utah, but this is gonna be a prove it game. Either Utah is a good team and they make this competitive and win, or Utah has been getting lucky and Oregon's about to expose them. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Oh boy, Texas, another team that disappointed gravely last week. Not really sure what to think of it. You're struggling with the Houston team, first year in the Big 12, and now you're going up against BYU, and they want me to lay 18. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. But I mean, I want to lean Texas minus 17.5, right? I know that's what's on the screen. Obviously I'm playing towards the over, but my gut tells me that the BYU plus 17.5 might be the better play. But I just feel like since last week, with the Texas and Oklahoma game was so unexpectedly close that this week, they're going to come out, they're at home, and just dominate this game in all aspects, start to finish, and cover this spread. But I'm just not a big fan of double-digit spreads. I'm not a big fan of. Now, this matchup is way more interesting than it appears on paper. You got a Pittsburgh team that beat the Louisville team that beat Notre Dame. Then you got a Notre Dame team. Oh, shit. Now, this one I feel like is going to be way more interesting than it appears on paper. Keep in mind now, Pitt beat the Louisville team that Notre Dame lost to. So, and I just got done telling y'all how I am not a big fan of double-digit spreads. And this one's sitting at 20.5. Oh, my goodness. That give me Pitt plus the 21. I'm gonna roll the dice with them to keep this game close. Model likes the plus 21 to cover. I like the plus 21 to cover. And then I'm gonna lean towards the over in this game. But I will say, if this game trends under, I think Pitt covering that 20.5 is almost guaranteed. So, food for thought. Let me know what you think about this one. Oh, look, it's the sellouts I was just telling y'all about. USC, you burned me 2 weeks in a row. I won't make it 3. I promise you that. Even though I feel like this is a much better game for them, rivalry game. But I'm just another one of those games. I just don't like it. I don't feel good about it. I honestly don't know a whole lot about Cal and how their season has been going. But I've been following USC. So I hate to say it, but I'm still going to lean USC minus 11. I probably won't bet this personally. And then I'm going to play the over 67.5 in this ball game. All right, headed to another SEC matchup. We got the Tennessee Volunteers traveling to Kentucky to take on the Wildcats. Tennessee, man, coming off a tough L to Alabama. They were leading most of the game. I thought they were going to win that game. A lot of people thought they were going to win that game. And then they just blew it at the end. And then on the other side, you got this Kentucky team where once upon a time this season looked like they had a chance to do something. And then they just flopped hard. So I don't think there's any other option here but to back the Vols. Give me Tennessee minus 3.5. And then lean towards the under. Model likes the over to just barely hit. But I'm going to go under in this game. This Vols offense isn't the great. The Kentucky offense isn't the greatest. So give me the under. I think it'll be a defensive matchup with some scoring here and there. And ultimately, Tennessee will get the win. Headed into another Big Ten matchup. We got Ohio State traveling to Wisconsin to take on the Badgers. And, Ohio State coming off a big win last week against Penn State. Great game if you missed it. Sorry to hear that. But let me tell you, man, I think this is a really, really sneaky spot for Ohio State. Nobody's going to give Wisconsin a chance in this game. Wisconsin has played everybody tough. Everybody. So, and once again, there's that double-digit spread, and they got the hook on it, 14.5. So you need Ohio State to win this game by 3 scores. And we just watched that offense have a pretty hard time scoring the football. And honestly, every Ohio State game, it feels like that offense is a little stagnant, takes a little bit to get going. And their quarterback, he's just not anything special. So I think Wisconsin can cover the spread in this game. I guess I have my graphics mixed up. The model doesn't like that pick, but I'm gonna switch it up on the spot. Give me Wisconsin plus the 14.5 to cover in this game. Oh man, Pac-12. We got the Colorado Buffaloes traveling to UCLA to take on the Bruins. And let's just be honest, man. Can we just agree? Can we just be real with one another that this Colorado team is still a Colorado team? What do you mean by that, TJ? Well, what I mean is Colorado just has never been a great program. Never has. And nobody's going to be able to change that in the summer. So I'm glad that hype's over with. UCLA Bruins, man, they're having an interesting season. 17.5 just seems like way too much for this game. Just mad disrespect to Colorado. But let's see if the bookies are right, man. I'm gonna take Colorado plus a 17.5. One thing about this Colorado team, well, 2 things about them that we know for sure. The defense isn't that great, but the offense is spectacular. And that's what keeps them in the game. In every game they play, they light up the scoreboard. So give me Colorado plus a 17.5. The model doesn't like the over in this one. I like the over in this one. High-powered offense, horrible defense. UCLA's offense is pretty good. They're going to take advantage of that horrible defense. I expect both of these teams to light up the board and give us an entertaining matchup. And back to the ACC, we got the North Carolina Tar Heels taking on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. UNC, man, coming off a heartbreaking L. to an unranked Virginia team as they were creeping up on the top 10 in the rankings. They blow that game at home against UVA. Shocker. Georgia Tech on the other side, fresh off an L from Boston College. It was actually a really entertaining game. I had Boston College in that matchup. Now Georgia Tech is back home, hosting the Tar Heels with an 11-point spread. I'm gonna rock with UNC in this game. I think last week, they just had a bad week. They just had a bad week, got caught in a bad spot, and got burned. And I think they're gonna bounce back strong on the road against the Georgia Tech team, who isn't that great, So give me UNC minus 11 and a lean towards the over in this matchup. Last game of the night, and it's a late one out west, 10:30 sharp. We got number 11 Oregon State taking on an unranked Arizona team. I've seen a lot of people calling for an upset in this one. Even the bookies got it tight at 3.5. This Oregon State team is just another one of those schools. They got to prove themselves, man. They got to win some games. They got to beat some big-time opponents. This game right here should be a cakewalk for Oregon State. They should get out there and handle their business. But like I said, I've seen a lot of folks taking Arizona. No disrespect to Arizona. I know they got a good quality football program. But with that being said, give me the Beavers minus 3.5. I'm going to lean towards the over in this game. Model likes the over. Model likes the Beavers. I think it's a good deal. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up button for me. Don't forget to subscribe. Good luck to everyone, and I'll catch you in the next one.